Hey, it's Sumskulk11, and I recently, more like a month ago by the time this video is out, finished a challenge run idea I had for Xenoblade 3, so I wanted to share the rule set and tell about how it went for anyone that may want to try this themselves. The basic idea around this is to make it more like the other Xenoblade games where every character has a unique set of arts and skills, and that's accomplished by limiting each class to only one character so that everyone has a unique set of classes, arts, and skills. I'm not good with naming stuff like this, so all I've got for a name is the Personal Class Challenge or Personal Class Run. If anyone has a better name for it, you can let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll change the video title to make that the more permanent name, but for now, I'm going to be calling it the Personal Class Challenge. So I've got the rules up on screen here. If you want to make tweaks to these rules, that's perfectly fine. The rules I came up with for this is for the default classes, only the default pairs can use them. That's because the Ouroboros partners are already forced to use them, so it wouldn't make sense to restrict those classes beyond that. So, for example, Sword Fighter can only be used by Noah and Mio. Medic Gunner can only be used by Uni and Taion. All the Inherited Hero classes, each one can only be given to a single party member of choice. It works out that there's just enough classes when removing Soul Hacker and the post-game classes that everyone gets exactly 3 classes for a total of 5 overall classes and 3 classes given to them each. No Soul Hacker because both the amount of classes balance and because it kind of just goes against the nature of the run, since Soul Hacker can do everything it wants all by itself. It doesn't get any master arts and skills, so just makes sense to not allow Soul Hacker for this. And then the chosen classes are the only ones that you can use the master arts and skills from. So you can't use the rank 1 master arts from anything just from having the class unlocked. You can only use the class arts and skills from the 3 classes that you chose to give, plus the 2 base classes that you get. And you can't use Nopon coins to master a class that you wouldn't be using. So it's only those 5 classes per character that you can have anything from. So this way everyone has their own unique arts and skills that no one else gets. So one of the main ideas behind this rule set, besides making it more like previous games and more challenging because you're limiting how many broken things you can use. You can't just give everyone Signifer. Only one character can get Signifer. Only one character can get Full Metal Jaguar. Besides that, it also creates a lot of thought into team building, since you have to consider not only who gets what classes for their final build, but also who gets what classes for availability. So I'll go more into that. That's just the basic rules. If that's all you care about, then feel free to leave. All you wanted was the rules, but now I'll go into more of the ideas behind it and some of the results that I got from doing this. So on the topic of availability, one example to give on that is Noah and Mio, their default Agnian class will be Zephyr, which means they're going to be stuck with Glow Ring as one of their only master arts until they get any other Agnian class, which is why I gave the first 2 Agnian classes, Thaumaturge to Noah and Noponic Champion to Mio. Gave them those so that they had master arts they could use besides Glow Ring, since if you're not using a Kavesi tank class, Glow Ring is going to be really annoying to be grabbing aggro when you don't want it. Then one that I did more on the idea of final build was Uni. I gave her Full Metal Jaguar, Incursor, and Martial Artist to do the usual full evasion build. And one of the other aspects of that is because of the base class that they get, since only Uni and Taion would have Tactician, they would be the only ones getting the Ether damage boost skill, so that's why I gave Uni this set of classes, so that she could use this and get the extra Ether damage that no one else would be getting. Another example of choosing classes based on the base classes of the character would be Lance. I gave him War Medic and Lost Vanguard so that he could have a build similar to Nicole in Future Redeemed, where He's just really bulky and can revive everyone. Really hard for him to go down. I could have done a lot better with this, though. He doesn't actually have any damage reduction outside of advanced cooldown and the shield belt and solid stance, so he doesn't have 100% damage reduction compared to if I had given him something like the skill from, what was it? Lone Exile, the Lone Exile skill for damage reduction. So he wasn't complete damage reduction, but he was enough to revive anyone when he really needed to. So the last thing to talk about is some of the things I learned and some of the mistakes that I made when it came to the team building process. So one mistake I made was Tyon. I gave him all Agnian classes because I was building him to be a buff bot. So I gave him Strategos, or Strategos, I don't know how you pronounce that, Signifer, and Seraph, and using him as a medic gunner as his final class. So because of that, he only had 2 Kavesi Master Arts. So when he was using all these Agnian classes, he did not have a full set of Master Arts, and one of those Master Arts was just Myopic Screen. So that was a mistake they made. I should have given everyone at least 1 Kavesi class and 1 Agni class, and I made the similar mistake with Senna, giving her all of the combo arts. So she got Guardian Commander, Lone Exile, and Yumsmith. That means she only had 2 Agnian Master Arts to use while she was using all these classes. So when I do this again, I'll probably do another attempt at this kind of run in January when the Noah and Mio amiibo come out. That's something I gotta keep in mind, and something you should keep in mind if you're going to try doing this. And then one other thing I noticed was I ended up using Heavy Guard a lot. Like, most of the game I had Heavy Guard. Even after Lance had his other classes, I was still mostly using Heavy Guard because of the topple art. Something I had not considered enough before planning things out. The only other topple art that's a master art is from Seraph, which is really late. So for most of the game, to have 2 topplers for more reliable toppling, I needed to use lands in Heavy Guard, which means it was kind of a waste with most of the stuff I gave him, since I should have just built for Heavy Guard instead of building for Lost Vanguard. And he would have probably had better damage reduction that way if I had given him a skill from something else, and just generally more use as Heavy Guard compared to having most of his arts acquired for Lost Vanguard instead. And then one more minor thing is that because of removing a lot of these broken options, Interlink was actually used a lot. I was using Interlink constantly because I didn't have so many broken damage options and broken defensive options. But that's it for everything about this challenge run, the idea I had. Anyone wants to try it, let me know that you're going to do it. Let me know that you're going to do it in the comments. If anyone's finished it after watching this video, let me know about that too. And we'd love to hear ideas for other people's builds that they did for this, especially since it might help for improving future runs of this that I do myself. I don't imagine too many people are going to follow this challenge run idea. I don't see many people doing challenge runs of Xenoblade 3 in general. But if anyone wants to do it, then just let me know in the comments. And again, if you have a better name for it, you can let me know about that too. So see you next time.